So, welcome back everyone, I'm back finally, and I guess I will stop complaining about my situations because this just makes the video longer than it needs to be. So, I'm just glad to be back. And today I want to show you guys, or I want to share my knowledge about about aids, and I want to do some Battle Royale, and I think I will do some Battle Royale first. But I have to say I don't have my good Battle Royale setup anymore because I used my Rene-Ven aids and all my sharpshooter strategy aids for leveling up my Rene-Ven more to get her on Divine 3. I still don't have Divine 3 on her because I was a bit lazy and I spent a lot of jewels for nothing. I spent a lot of jewels for El Dorado and stuff like that. It was a bit stupid because I need to reach that Divine 3 and I need to get Town Hall level 120 to be able to do that. So without that in a way, let's just get right into it. So I'm using a Great Sage, of course. Great Sage always good for getting some good rage. Abyss Demon for the healing, Pangoli for the damage, Chiron of course for the damage too, for the sharpshooters to boost them up. Of course I could use a Pyropede here. I don't have Pyropede anymore, that's more or less the problem here. That's why I use Pangoli instead. Abyss Demon always great, however, let's just get into it. So at least I don't have to worry about dying anymore at this particular very easy boss fights or very easy Battle Royale fights. Of course later on there are some harder enemies, but with Abyss Demon I really don't have to worry about dying. I more have to worry about not getting a lot of damage in that less time that I have. Not less time, I still have the same amount of time, but in that time that I have, of course. That's more or less the problem here. So let's just see what we can reach. 6 million always, not bad at all. It's okay for not having all the sharpshooters and all the Rene-Ven aids. It's actually alright. I can do some damage, at least I have some good skills that are doing a lot of damage. But it's not comparable with the sharpshooter strategy. So pretty poor amount of points here. We have 15 seconds left. Chiron is about to die, but nope, it won't be a problem, he won't die. That's actually alright. Let's just see if we can activate everything again before the time gets over. And we got 16 million. It's alright, it's not bad, it's not good, but it's actually alright. So now let's just get into the aids. Many of you guys asked me what should I use for aids and what are the best aids for that and that. And I have to say it's very easy. So you don't have a lot of room to play, you know. It's just if you have damage heroes that are able to do a lot of damage, or that like Pangoli. Pangoli is doing a lot of damage. Great Sage is doing a lot of damage. Abyss Demon is doing a lot of damage, and it's good to give him damage because he gets a percentage back from the damage to him and to the allied units and to all the other heroes who are close to him. Zephyrix, of course, also a damage dealer. I mean, why he's not a tank, so why putting a 8 skill on him who gives him health, it don't makes a lot of sense. So it's basically very easy. There are some good aids, and these are exactly the aids that you will use for tanks, and then are exactly the aids that you will use for other units or other for damage dealers. So it's actually pretty easy. We have the tanks and we have the damage dealers. Of course, then we have something like Abyss Demon. He has a very interesting skill. So which means, so on him you can do something else. So you can also give him a blockhead because you get 80k rate. 80k rate is always good on Abyss Demon because the faster he damages, the faster he hits, the faster he heals. Giving him 80k and some other 8 skills that are also doing damage are always great. Now there are a lot of people who don't know what is the difference between damage and 80k, so DMG and 80k. I don't want to explain it now, but what you have to know is damage is better than 80k, and 80k is only giving you a percentage to the normal 80k he would have without other 8s and without other, yeah, you know what I mean. So that's basically good to know. Then we have a Chiron. I will talk a bit about some of the heroes who are not so easy to manage. So Chiron is again pretty easy to manage, but a lot of people use Chiron, that's why I'm doing this now. So Chiron, what's good on Chiron? Chiron is also not bad for doing damage, so means he splits up. So he splits up. If he splits up in clones, there are some clones that are doing 124% 80k on level 16, of course. If you have him higher, then higher. But however, if you have more 80k on him, so means if you have damage 8s and or 80k 8s, depends on what you have, what you're able to use, then you will get more for every single clone. So that basically means it's a good idea to get into some damage 8s or to give him some damage 8s to make him better. Then there are the hero talents. Of course, we have blessed weapons with the best hero. It's basically the best hero talent for doing damage. And then we have 80k, which is also not bad, and some other stuff that is not really important. 80k rate, of course, pretty good for my Abyss, but on my Abyss I have all the blessed weapons. So we have enough 80k rate with our blockhead 8, so keep that in mind, it's enough. So then it's also good to use 80k rate on Chiron, because when he has a bigger 80k rate, it's sometimes even better than giving him one more damage 8, because all of the clones are hitting faster, which is amazing. It's very good. So giving him an 80k rate hero to an 80k rate 8 skill is always great. So for example, a blockhead, or not for example, blockhead is simply the only one who gives you 80k rate. So blockhead is a very nice 8, keep that in mind. It's not for every hero, so for Pangoli, blockhead is nothing important. For Pangoli you should just go after damage. If you go after damage on Pangoli, the damage will also increase the damage that your Ragnarocker does. So if you put some very good damage 8s on him, his Ragnarocker will be much stronger. So if you see here, launch a fireball that deals 13,917 plus 316% 80k damage. So if you have a lot of more damage, if you have a more percentage of damage, you will get more percentage of, yeah, damage. Pretty easy to say. Okay, well, however, then we have a Great Sage. Great Sage is basically no tank, so it's pretty obvious what you use on him. So give him some good damage 8s. Maybe a Pangoli is also not bad. Don't forget to give your heroes Pangolis, because yeah, the extra time of living is always great to have, especially when you have an Abyss Demon to get them up again in that time that they still survive. So it's always good to use that. Zephyrix is our, or not our, but one of the best 8 skills for damage. He gives you 20% damage basically as 8 skill if you have him on 18. But I think it's already 20% if you have him on 16. I'm not 100%. No, I'm 100% sure it's 16. Yeah, it's 16. I'm pretty sure. Then you get 20%, but before the 20% you get 16%. It's not a big deal. So 20% don't sounds a lot, because if you take a look at Skullmage, he gives you 40% 80k. Of course, my one is only level 12. I have another one. Is it here? I don't know. Oh no, I don't have. Okay, that's my best Skullmage 8. So he gives you 30% only for level 12, and that's amazing. But it's 80k, it's not damage. 80k is not as good as damage, but it's still great because Skullmages are flying around. You have a lot of Skullmage. Everyone has a lot of Skullmages. He's easy to get and he is a very good 8. Keep that in mind. Even if he's not giving you damage, the fact that you have a lot of Skullmage and the fact that you can level them up on 180 instead of Zephyrix's. What the hell? Makes him to one of the best damage 8s. And 80k. Of course, not damage 80k, but you know what I mean. One of the best damage 8s, of course. A Zephyrix is pretty hard to get up on 180 and you don't get like a ton of Zephyrixes, so Zephyrix is one of the best 8 skills, or has one of the best 8 skills for damage. That's why I use him on my Abyss Demon, because he gives him extra percentage of damage. So basically an example in the arena, how you saw my Abyss heals himself up to 30k per hit. And that's basically a lot. I'm using Zephyrix on him, and so you see that's pretty cool. If you are doing that in Battle Royale, you get a ×2 bonus, so 40%, and that's pretty amazing. But yeah, how I said, keep in mind you don't have a lot of Zephyrixes. Okay, maybe you have, but most of the people don't. So Zephyrix is a good 8, but it's not as nice as a Skullmage, because you get a lot of Skullmages. You can level him up to 180 and give him some more percentage to the slot that you put him in, like 80k or HP or both, when you have the 3rd slot activated. So that's amazing. Skullmage, one of the best 8s. I really like Skullmage, he is very good for damage heroes. Then we have some other things to keep in mind. Reniven increases your sharpshooter's 80k by 116% and HP by 50%. Okay, HP is not that important, so it's okay. And that's basically very, very amazing if you use the sharpshooter strategy. It's a beast. So if you have 3 Renivens, and if you don't use Renivens, use them as 8s. I had Reniven 8s, but I used them now for Glory to get her up on Divine 3, because that's for me more important at the moment than Battle Royale. But if you are doing Battle Royale, if you are using the sharpshooter strategy in the arena, and if you are happy with that, and if you don't want to switch that, Reniven is the best 8 skill for your 80k units. It's amazing. So really, that's a very good 8 skill, so don't forget that. Landslide. I don't see a good use to it, so I don't think Landslide is a very good 8. Basically, Landslide is a hero to use, not a hero to use as 8, so just forget about that. On Landslide, of course, that's something you should know now. You put some HP 8s on him. So the best HP 8 is our Savage Thief. Pretty easy to get. Gives you 40% on level 16. What to say, I don't know. A very great 8 for your tanks. So then we have a Hydra Saw. Still a very good 8 for your tanks. He gives you just less 80k and less HP, but he gives you both. That's basically pretty amazing. You get a lot of Hydras. Hydra is not very hard to get, so you can maybe get her up on 180. Then get some, level up her skill, and then you have 28% on both, which is very amazing. It's very good. Of course, then we have the good old Pangoli 8. Always great to have, especially when you are healing, to get your heroes back up. And I'm still using my Pangoli 8s, even if they are only 120. So that's pretty cool. Then what else we can say? Of course, we still have some special aids like Ambrosia. They have some very special abilities as aids heroes, but I don't saw a lot of potential in using all the new heroes for aids. All the aids on the new heroes are not really good, are not as good as doing a lot of as putting in a lot of damage and 80k rate aids. So she's a pretty good aid, but only for healing. She's very good. She's not for a lot of 80k. She's only good for heroes that heal themselves up. So if I use her on my Abyss Demon, it pretty much makes not a big difference, because doing more damage also means he heals more. Healing more means exactly the same. So while using an Ambrosia, which I can also only level up to 120, instead of using something else as the Zephyrix, or like a Zephyrix, which I can level up to 170, or a Skull Mage that I can level up to 180. So that's the question here. Why should I use an Ambrosia as 8? Pretty much makes no big difference, and pretty much makes no big sense to me. Of course, turns into a zombie, pretty useless in my opinion, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see. So I still use her as 8 just because I don't have something else at the moment. Still leveling up a blockhead here to get some 80k rate on another hero. 80k rate is also pretty great, not only damage, so I see a lot of potential in 80k rate too. And yeah, Rini Ven, so she's not a damage dealer, she's not a tank, she's pretty much nothing. That's why I would say put some HP based aids on her, and her Pangoli aid that she survived. That's the most important thing here. She don't does a lot of damage, she don't has a lot of HP, so why not, yeah, keeping her alive with some 80k, the HP aids, always pretty great. Arctic Lord, pretty, depends how you want to use him. Of course he has a lot of HP, but he can also do a lot of 80k, so that's up to you if you want to max his 80k or if you want to max his HP. So he's a hero that you can use to get some time because of his divine skill, so pretty nice to have. Dark Rider, I don't have him here at the moment. Dark Rider is pretty good for you should put some HP aids on him, you should put some 80k aids on him. Hydrasaur is not bad if you can decide. So if you have heroes like Dark Rider who's not having extremely a lot of HP, so he's not a tank and he's also not really a damage dealer, then you can just think about, if he's nothing at all, maybe putting a Hydrasaur on him is not bad at all. So yeah, I hope I could help you out with this little guide on how to use your aids, because I'm getting a lot of messages. What aids should I use? Why should I use that aids and why not that? What's damage? What's 80k? So now you basically know what to do, and yeah, I hope I could help you out a bit. And yeah, I hope you see us in the next video. I will be more active again now, and I'm glad to be back. I hope you guys are also glad that I'm back, and yeah. If you have any suggestions what you want to know in the next video, write it down in the not in the description, in the comments, so I know what to upload and you guys get some more information. So I think that was basically it, and I hope we see us in the next video.